events. Just your thoughts on finally able to start the outdoor season.
I'm really excited. This is my favorite season out of all three of them, and I'm just really excited to see how our team does and how everyone competes this season.
Um, so looking back, so you got all conference and cross country, and got your first Sun Belt championship with the DMR team. How did that feel, and how can that really help you moving forward into outdoor season?
That was amazing. Winning the DMR definitely will be a top memory that I have here, and for this outdoor season, it really motivates me to try to place all conference in whatever event I run there.
Well, then of course now, they with the indoor season, you had like Hyde Madison time, like in the leading role. With her now being out of eligibility, so how do you guys now go about trying to just carry on that momentum and just keep the team rolling, but like without her presence now?
I feel like our team is just really close in general. So being able to work together and kind of help each other out, and with the leading position, that's just how we've been.
And of course, this weekend you go to the University of Miami. And then also in the indoor season, you also face many Power 5 competition as well. So just how do you feel about just all the teams that you've seen through the indoor season kind of help you prepare for the challenges with the outdoor season as you start off facing Miami?
Yeah, definitely. We've seen a ton of Power 5 schools indoor, and I think it's just really exciting that we get to compete against them outdoor as well. It's going to push us to do really, really good.
Then kind of just in terms of your individual goals, guys, what's your individual goals going towards this outdoor season?
The 1500, I want to run probably mid to low 420s, if not faster. I kind of want to make it to first rounds, but obviously I have to have the time for that, so we're working to get that. I'm running the 5K at Raleigh, possibly, so it's a new event, and yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Thank you, Hannah. All right, with Taylor Spencer.
Just Hannah, just your thoughts on starting the outdoor season.
I'm really excited to get started. We had a really good indoor season starting out with a bunch of freshmen coming in and stuff, and I'm really excited to see how I do and how the rest of the team does going into outdoor. It's a little bit different, but it's exciting too.
You mentioned the freshmen. How have you seen them be able to come along throughout this track season thus far?
They have done an absolutely great job. Like, they push each other, they push the upperclassmen at every practice. We have so many freshmen. They're over, I would say, about half the team this year, and they have really stepped up to the plate and have competed like Division I athletes, and I think that has helped our team so much.
So, like what Ben asked Hannah, so in 2 short seasons you've had people like Abby, you've had people like Kylie kind of as mentors. What have you learned from them, and what can that help you grow as you continue to grow in your career?
I mean, there is a very long list of things I've learned from Kylie and Abby and McKenna and athletes like that. And of course, I'm going to miss their presence here, but they've kind of taught us how to train like an athlete, how to work like a student athlete, and ultimately how to be a good competitor. And I am confident because of the things they've taught us that we can do the same things and progress just like they taught us to do.
Of course, the odds of this candidates, you face many top competitions that season. You got to face that right off the bat. So just how just all the competitions you face this far kind of help you prepare for what's ahead?
Like Hannah said, like going against a lot of Power 5 schools are really going to help us push since we're obviously not in a Power 5 conference, but I truly believe that Marshall University has the competitors to compete with those Power 5 schools. And really, it's just like any other meet. We're just going to push with them, and if we do better than them, great, and if not, we're just going to get them next time.
What's your individual goals going into this outdoor season?
I'm going to focus a little bit more on steeplechase. I ended up trying it at the end of last year and did decently well, so we're going to see how that goes. But I would like to do well at conference again in that if I can, and I'll run an occasional 1500 as well. So I've never done that event before, so just kind of seeing how that goes. But yeah, we have Ellie who's also going to be trying the 3K steeplechase, so we'll have a sophomore and a freshman doing those events. So really just going to see how that goes, but I'm super excited for the whole team this year, and we're going to have a good year.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Addison's first question is just your thoughts on starting the outdoor season.
We're really excited to get into the outdoor season. Everybody does track for outdoor. Obviously indoor is kind of a giant preseason. So everybody's really excited to get outdoors. Some of our stronger events are in the outdoor season. So I think the entire team is pretty excited to go.
Of course, I know this is your first full season at Marshall, coming from the Division III level, and you broke multiple records broken throughout the indoor season. So just are you going about training to kind of carry on that momentum into the outdoor season in the first year at D1?
We taper down a little bit going into conference, as you do, just to kind of hit a mini peak. But the idea is to peak for outdoor conference and into the national championship. We get into regionals and stuff like that. So we've been going pretty heavy since we got back from conference. We really have had no days off. A lot of those days that would have been easier days have been harder days. We've been real hard on the technicalities and stuff of the events. So me personally, I'm picking up a couple more events for the outdoor season, going into triple jump, going into jav a little bit, so hopefully can add some more points for the team. But still training hard. We'll start to taper down here in probably 2-3 weeks as we get into the end of the outdoor season. But it's going to be some hard work for the next few weeks.
First meet in Miami coming up. What do you expect there? Get some top competition down there, warm weather. What are you expecting down there?
Really good way to start the outdoor season. We go to the U. It's big, it's bright, everybody's excited. Get down to Florida, get down to see the nice weather, and see the top competition. We're in the Sun Belt, which is a tough conference, and we saw that when we got to the conference championship. There's going to be top times through the country running our conference, top marks in the jumps and the throws. So you got to be ready to go, and it helps to see that throughout the regular season too. So.
And of course, you just talk about the competition with the Sun Belt and then the top schools. Just how similar is that with Sun Belt compared to like the other top schools that you're facing?
Top to bottom, the Sun Belt is pretty evenly split throughout a lot of the events. We're not hitting a ton of the national qualifying marks, but there's national qualifiers all throughout the conference. And you saw that throughout the last weekend at national championships. So you got to be ready to compete with the big dogs. Division I track has kind of turned into a semi-pro kind of league with some of the marks that you see across the country, and we have to be ready to go out and compete with those marks and try to hit them ourselves. And we train to do that. We're mentally prepared to do that, so the excitement level's high.
And kind of says, what's your goal going into this outdoor season?
I just want to keep getting better, keep trying to PR. Obviously, we want to get to the regional meet and try to get to the national championship meet again. We were just short indoor. The regional meet is going to help a little bit. That way you got to do it on the day. It's not dependent on marks throughout the year. And then for conference, obviously we want to score as many points as we can. Everybody was a little disappointed after indoor, a little bit of a sour taste in our mouths. So it's going to be very motivating going into the outdoor season. Like I said, we got some top events for our team specifically going into the outdoor season. So I think we're going to have a little bit more of an edge. And, everybody's excited. Everybody's hungry. So we're good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Your thoughts on going into the outdoor season?
We've lost some of our best athletes after indoor, but it would be great to see all the new javelin throwers and 400 hurdlers come out. I think we'll score some real big points at conference, so that'll be good.
And then now, it's like you talk about, of course, losing a lot of athletes, and just now going into the outdoor season, how do you see yourself and also the underclassmen how do you see everyone just stepping up and filling in those roles at the outdoor season?
I think that's the great thing about adding in the 400 hurdles specifically, because a lot of our underclassmen will be running those, and the times that they're hitting in practice are equivalent to making the conference finals, so I think there's a real good chance of picking up the points there.
So you personally had a busy indoor season, capped scoring in the pentathlon in the indoors. What do you hope to achieve in outdoors, and what are you going to do in practice to kind of keep that momentum going from the indoor championships?
I think for outdoors, my goal would just be to podium again in the heptathlon. So I like having the 200 and the jab come into play, and I'll definitely be focusing more on those throughout practice, as we haven't really done too much javelin training. And definitely focus on the 800. I need some more work there, so we'll see how that goes.
And of course, David asks, as this, you start the season going to Miami to kind of just, and also you face many top competition as well, so just thoughts on starting the outdoor season top competition, and how do you about your previous experiences from the indoor season to prepare for Miami?
I think with the Miami meet, my goal would just be to get out a good long jump mark and hopefully get a regional mark. It's around 6:13 from what I've calculated, so it'd be great just to get one out straight away, but we'll progress through the season. There's plenty of opportunities, so that's the goal.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, this first question is your thoughts on starting the outdoor
I'm pretty excited. We do have a bunch of freshmen that travel to the indoor conference, so I'm expecting the same for outdoor. Miami, I'm assuming we have a pretty similar amount that we brought to indoor conference, so it'll be good for them to get this experience at a pretty high competitive meet.
So well, you mentioned, like, of course, you mentioned freshers. How have you seen them come along this far?
Training with them all fall on the distance side, all fall and all indoor. A lot of them have progressed. They've learned that high school and college racing are two totally different things, but it's cool to see them succeed now as they're learning how to race properly. But
Strong indoor season for you, earning all conference in the 800. What are some of your takeaways from that championship experience in that race?
Personally, I wasn't fully satisfied because we fell like a second short in that DMR. I'm more of a relay kind of guy, so losing that the day before that 800 sort of had that sour taste in my mouth, like AP said. But I mean, it was nice to walk away with some hardware. Hope to do the same with outdoor.
And then, so last outdoor season, so what are your goals to kind of let it all out on the line?
Of course, I want a PR, want to run those fast times, make it to regional, but I'm really just focused on making at least one final at that outdoor conference. I've yet to do that. I know there's going to be more competition with Troy, Coastal joining in, but I mean, meet by meet, I just want to improve, run a few PRs, and see the team succeed.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, this first question is just your thoughts on starting the outdoor season.
My thoughts on starting the outdoor season, I'm pretty excited about it. Hoping to open up with a 21-3 in the 200 and place pretty high in conference, going into the conference meet, and then that's really about it for myself.
Yeah, so first year in indoor, you set a top indoor mark in the new team program. You only trail a guy by the name of Randy Moss. So what'd you learn from your first indoor season with Marshall, and what worked for you best in training?
What I learned was just focus on myself in the race and not really to worry about anything outside of it, because when I first opened up with a 21-8 first meet, I started getting nervous throughout all the other meets, and finally locked back in, final meet with me and God, and just was able to run so freely in that. So going into the outdoor season, it's really just to stay calm, composed, continue going into it with God, and keep the nerves away.
Of course, when you start the outdoor season going to Miami. Indoor season, you face many top competition. Well, first off, does your thoughts maybe on starting the outdoor season against top competition at Miami, and then how do you use the experiences from the indoor season to help you prepare for what's ahead?
I feel like I could just use them. It's going to be mostly the same competition or even better. So it's just like that final at conference for the 200. Just treat it like that, because that's how it's going to be. We're going to have people running. The best time there was a 21-2. We're going to have people running 20.5. So it's going to be way better, way faster. I'm just going to have to step up to the challenge.
All right, thank you very much.
Isaiah's first question is your thoughts on starting the outdoor season?
My thoughts on starting the outdoor season, I'm excited. I feel like indoor for me is like training for outdoor. So I'm looking forward. I'm trying to open with anything under 48. I had a decent indoor, so I'm looking to build off of it.
So what has your training been like to try to build off from the indoor and now going into the outdoor season?
After the indoor conference championship, we've really been grinding lately. It's been a heavy workload, a lot of mileage, and just getting the legs ready for the outdoor season.
You're one of the veterans on this team, obviously, with a bunch of newcomers. What kind of responsibility does that bring, and how do you approach that each day in practice and at meets?
I just try to be positive, uplift people. It's very hard work sometimes. So whether that's just making jokes or just letting them know, everybody's here for a reason. Like, So even on your bad days, you just gotta remember that, and you'll get through it.
Of course, like David mentions, like you have a lot of newcomers, like this season. How have you seen them progress thus far?
I've seen them progress a lot. It's crazy some of the progression when you see them first come in and not used to it at all, and now we're more than half the way done, and it's looking pretty routine to them. You know, they've all bought in, put in the extra work, and it's gonna be a great outdoor season.
Some of the people we've talked to already said, a bit of a sour taste in the mouth from the indoor championships and stuff. How do you use that as fuel for motivation going into outdoor, and what do you hope to see as a team for outdoor?
I feel like, the results weren't what we were looking for. And there's two things. You can either look at that and like be defeated, or you can look at that and say it's not gonna happen again. So we're not gonna let that happen again.
All right, thank you. All right, questions for Justin?
Justin, the first question is, just your thoughts on starting the outdoor season?
I'm super excited. Where I come from, I've only raced like 2 indoor meets, and those were in 2 different years at Marshall. So I've always been an outdoor guy, and I love outdoor track. I like it a lot more than cross country, obviously more than indoor because I've never done it. But I'm looking to open up in around 153 in the 1500, and I'm looking to progress from there.
You've had a busy season, running cross country in the fall and, going into indoor after a little bit of time off. What have you learned in your freshman year here at Marshall? Just like a busy grind all year long?
I've definitely learned a lot more about race strategy. Where I come from, it's like there's really not like I'm AA West Virginia. There's not a ton like of guys. Like it's a lot smaller, and just going on the D1 level, like race strategy is huge, and that was a big learning point in indoor track, and just like keep staying positive and just keep progressing, really.
As we already mentioned too, as some of the other people going to Miami now, what experiences will you take from indoor racing against top competition and now take it against some really good runners there at Miami?
Well, one thing I tried to work on in indoor was getting out fast because there's a lot of guys on the track, and just getting out and just getting in that pack and getting pulled out to like a really good time, and that's really what like I'm looking to do in Miami. But yeah.
Now, of course, it's like you being freshman. How have you been able to just adapt to college?
Like athletic.
From the athletic side, how have you been able to adapt this far?
It hasn't been as hard as I thought. We have a really good team that's been really welcoming, and some good mentors on the team, some guys that'll hype you up, and they just make it very like welcoming and not nearly as intimidating as it was the day on my visit. Like, not saying my visit was intimidating, I mean going into my visit, sorry. But it really hasn't been as hard as or as difficult as I was scared of, We have a good coaching staff that'll listen to you, and if your body's hurting or like, to a certain extent, obviously, like, they can like adjust if it's like too much. I don't know. I feel like that's the best quality in a coach is being open and approachable.
So how is it like to be able to compete for a coaching staff that is like that?
It definitely makes it a lot easier, having a coaching staff that like encourages you and hyping you up and actually cares about the athletes. I mean, it just makes everything easier, whether it's in competition or in practice. But yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right, so Babe, first question, you joined Marshall mid-season, obviously, but came in and still made a great impact on the indoor season. So what has the past few months been like, acclimating to this program and to this team?
I feel like the past few months for me has been great. Like, I got here 2 months ago, and immediately I started seeing progression. I came in running 765. I finished the season with 750. I'm number 2 in the record books right now. That's 741 coming down next indoor season. Um, in the 200 last year at Tech, I didn't even touch 24's indoor season. Here, I went 24/7. So, you know, I've seen immediate almost immediate progression. So I'm really excited for what's next to come.
And of course, it's like you being a transfer. What led you to want to compete at Marshall?
When I entered the portals, I talked to a lot of different coaches, and you know, this is my second year. I kind of went through the first year of college. I see what I want out of the school. I know what I'm looking for, and it's like I expressed what I was looking for, and I basically listened to the coaches, talk to them, hear what their program has to offer for me, and how can the coaches help me, as well as like I'm one of 14 kids, so like that family oriented like spirit, Marshall definitely gave me that when I was talking to the coaches, and it was like that's home for me. So.
Of course, now you started the outdoor season in Miami, and also facing any top competition throughout this track season thus far. So how does that help you prepare for what awaits?
I feel like everything we do in practice has a purpose, and like for me specifically, it was my arms and my block start, and we have really like been technical working on that. And like I said, indoor we saw the progression. So I'm excited for outdoor. Like I'm very excited. I'm nervous, but I'm excited, and it's Miami. I'm going back home, so we got to show out.
You talk about working on the technicalities of this. Can you just kind of explain more of how you're working on that and kind of break that down a little bit?
Okay, so my block starts have never been explosive or the best part of my race. I feel like that's the worst part of my race. And so, like, having the coaches that actually sits down, record, go step by step, like, okay, your first step too short. Your arm going outwards instead of straight. You're not bringing your hands all the way up. So actually having a coach that breaks that down, shows you, like, you doing it and shows you how to correctly do it, and going step by step, working with you one-on-one, like, that definitely helped a lot.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
All right, this first question is just your thoughts on starting the outdoor season.
I'm ready for the sun. I'm ready to eat sunflower seeds and spit them on the ground. I'm ready for an outdoor hammer, and I'm ready to throw far and foul trying.
So obviously you've had a lot of great teammates. Unfortunately, Rebecca Merritt's one that's leaving. So how does that kind of change your approach, kind of taking like a leadership role that you already had, but continuing to grow in that?
I don't think it changes my approach at all. I mean, she's definitely left her mark on all of us, but there are great women even before her, like Mary. They just, they paved the way for us. They showed us confidence and how to be a good teammate. And, yeah, the team won't be the same without her, but I think I'll be just as fine.
You say you learned a lot from them, so how do you take that kind of help with like the younger athletes as well?
Yeah, so my freshman year, when Mary took me under her wing and she just showed me what it was like to actually be a D1 athlete. On meets, we went to bed at 9, we woke up, got breakfast at 6, and we locked in for the rest of the day. So I try to instill that into the underclassmen. Like, we are here to have fun, but always have like a mindset of you're here for a reason. This is a business trip, as Coach likes to tell us. And yeah, just remember why you're here.
Very strong indoor season, in the weight throw and all that. So now moving into the hammer, moving into some of those outdoor events, what are some of your expectations, and what would you like to see for yourself personally?
I know I'm going to grow. I'm a lot stronger, a lot faster than last year, and I had a great season last year. So really, there's no limit. I'm just excited to see how I progress this year as well.
So, guys, what's your individual goals going into this outdoor season?
Of course, to throw further, be more confident, less hesitation. I'm one to like overthink when I get in a ring, and just being confident in myself and knowing that I'm here for a reason and I can do anything I put my mind to.
You mentioned confidence, so you face a lot of good competition in the indoor season.
Yes.
So Miami's no exception. You're going to see a lot of good athletes down there. So what do you expect now competing against some of those?
They're them and I'm me. I mean, I'm just going. Track is a team sport, but it's also an individual sport. Just because somebody goes out there and throws 60 meters and hammer, if I go out there and throw 55, which would be a PR, I won the day. So that's how I see it.
Awesome. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Your thoughts on starting
My thoughts on starting the outdoor season, I'm excited, ready to go. Just give it all I got.
So you jump into outdoor where you've made some top 5 marks in the 200 and 400 hurdles. Do you plan to continue working in those events and also?
Yeah, I plan to continue working on those. I feel like I've gotten stronger as an athlete. I feel like I've gotten better as well. I started my indoor season out really well as I started my indoor season out well as also, but I just feel like going into outdoors where I came from, so outdoors just more of me.
It's like, can you kind of like just when you say it's more about you, kind of, it's like, what does that mean?
Basically, I've never ran indoor until I got into college. So me being outside is where I've always peaked at. Like I've always bloomed outside. So I just feel like outdoor is all me.
So, of course, many different athletes have many different goals. When it comes to track, kind of, what's your individual goals going into this outdoor season?
My individual goals is to break school records, be myself, and just go out there and give it all I got and make my family proud.
Yeah, just saying like giving everything you got. Of course, I know with this schedule, you face many top competition. You've had Power 5 indoor season, the entirety of the Sun Belt Conference, and it's all with all that. How do you go about the experiences you've gone through throughout this entire season, going to the outdoors? You start off against the Power 5 school in Miami.
I approach it like they're not me. Like, I'm me. I have my last name. My last name gonna be my last name for a reason. Y'all always gonna remember the name Dezire G. I'm gonna go down in history forever.
That's all I got. So thank you very much. That's awesome.
All right, so Ron, first question is your thoughts starting the outdoor season?
I'm excited. This past year was my first indoor season, so I wasn't really used to it. So I'm just excited to get back out where it's sunny, stay warm a little bit more. Wind can help out in some ways. So.
When you talk about this past indoor season being your first season, so just how did you battle through the adversities of being a first year in the indoor season? Kind of just walk me through how you were able to go through that.
It was definitely an adjustment. I only had 3 indoor meets my high school year. I had one good one and the other 2 were kind of weird. So this time it was really just focusing on making sure that I try and stay consistent and don't let a single meet get me down for the rest of it.
So then, of course, you said your biggest thing is the outdoor season. Kind of just, how is it now just be able to be back in your own elements down at the collegiate level?
It's exciting. I always wanted to go jump at a college level. So being able to jump outdoors where I'll probably see we have a few more schools coming into the conference, so I'll see some more competition, and I'm hoping that not having to warm up as much because it's already warm out will help me will help keep energy for the actual event.
Earlier you mentioned the wind. For people who aren't as familiar with high jump, does wind play a huge factor?
I think it plays a factor somewhat. Just like in running, you do have that tailwind, so you can run a little bit faster if you're running up for your jump. It could also push up against you, so you never really know. But I think whenever it gives you that little boost in your run up, it can help a lot.
Then how do you go about training to prepare for those type of elements? As it's kind of difficult to actually prepare for those certain elements into like actual week day.
It's kind of hard to do that where we're in an indoor track, but you can still tell based off of we get a little bit of time to practice when we go to the meets. So you just focus on the technique and the power when we're at home, and then when we go out to other meets to actually focus on how the elements are affecting you, whether it's raining or whether there's a lot of wind. Just focus on what points you need to work on as those elements hit.
Of course, with this outdoor season, what's your goals going into this outdoor season?
My goal, I had a PR in high school that I've been chasing in college. It's been a little bit rough, but I have had a few collegiate PRs, so my goal is to just get back to there. I want to break the school record in the high jump too, and then also just work on getting ready to place in conference.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.